you won't hurt me.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
We're about to go into season 4. We've just finished season 3. Now, looking back at your character, Ygritte.
Yeah.
Now, looking back at her life decisions and the kind of character that she is now, would you sort of support them if you were friends with her, or would you want to shake some sense into her?
Oh, see, now I think we have to take into account that because she's been brought up in such a brutal world. I think north of the wall is not great. Obviously, it's not flowery. Many people, I think she's surrounded by warriors and ruthless killers, and I think as a result, she's a product of her environment. And so it is kind of tempting to shake her and just be like, stop being so. She wears the trousers in the relationship that she has with Jon Snow, and so, I rather love that forcefulness to her. But no, see, I like that quality in her. So, I don't find her too annoying.
Is it quite refreshing to play that kind of different male-female dynamic, which is so refreshing in Game of Thrones, but which you don't, of course, often see?
No, you're right. And actually, I feel that Game of Thrones is fantastic in the sense that they are very much at the forefront of pushing dominant, female characters. And this is a world, Westeros is a world whereby, men are answerable to women and, they use their sexual prowess to, get answers from them that they want. And no, I do like that.
I also really like her sense of humour, and I feel that she and Jon Snow have a more playful relationship than a lot of the relationships in that show. Was that quite refreshing for you to play up that kind of playfulness?
Do you know what is refreshing? And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I mean, especially when it's Ygritte who gets to, taunt and tease Jon Snow. I mean, I get to, I think I enjoy the scenes, or playing the scenes far more than Kit does, just because, he's the one kind of like receiving all this abuse. It's so much fun, it's so much more fun giving the abuse. But no, I enjoy it a lot.
Now, looking back at Ygritte's character at the beginning of season 3 and now where she is heading into season 4, I mean, where was her head at the beginning of the season and then coming into the new season? Where is she at mentally?
We pick her up in season 4, not that I can divulge too much in the season, but we pick her up in season 4 as a very different character. She is now a scorned woman, and I think women in general who have been wronged are rather dangerous, but particularly in the world of Westeros, you don't want to mess with a ruthless killer such as Ygritte. So we find her in a very different mindset, and she is hurt and she is looking for vengeance, which of course is a flip side to how we previously have seen her in season 2 and 3, whereby she is playful, as we were saying beforehand, and she teases and antagonizes Jon, and that's very kind of like, it's a bubbly atmosphere. But no, this time around, it's we realise that she's capable of doing some very nasty things, and it's a bit of a wake-up call.
Are we going to see more of her in battle?
You do. I'm now thinking already, how much can I say? You do. I mean, certainly with season 4, as they always manage to do, the creators, they have upped. The storylines have intensified, and there's going to be a lot of bloodshed throughout all the plot lines, I feel.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, considering how much bloodshed there was in the third
yes,
season,
exactly.
that's a bit cool.
How can you top that? but somehow they do.
Obviously things are going to change dramatically in the upcoming season, but what were the shoots like? How, comparing one to the other, what was season 3 like to shoot compared to season 4?
I think, well, certainly, coming from my perspective in playing the character, it wasn't as light, just because the headspace that she is in, it's far more kind of cutthroat, and also she's no longer with Jon Snow or kind of associated with the Night's Watch, so she's very much within her wildling community, far more so than we've ever seen her before, and she's becoming far more like fiercely loyal, really, towards her belief in setting everybody free and getting her own back.
I can sort of imagine that she'd become even more loyal, almost to make a point.
Yes.
At this stage.
Oh, definitely, and also wanting to hunt down Jon Snow. She is now on a mission. On a ruthless mission to
kill her lover.
Yes, exactly. How dare he betray me?
But they were doomed. He was right. They were doomed from the start.
He did have a point. But it was the way that she. I think the reason why she's so hurt is because he managed to lure her in.
Yeah.
He managed to break down her guard, and she was in love with him. And I feel that she still is in love with Jon Snow. And so that is why she's feeling just so damaged.
Now, let's talk a little bit about death, because obviously that's such a massive part of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
you obviously work on the show, but when you watch season 3's Red Wedding for the first time, were you actually shocked? Did you actually feel a sense of, oh God?
Oh my God, 100%, 100%. And the ridiculous thing is that I've read the books, so I knew that the Red Wedding was approaching. I'd also read episode 9, prior to them shooting it, months before, and so I knew the anticipation was building up. I knew where the climax was going to come. It was finally going to come to a head, and so I knew what to expect. But yet, seeing it there on screen and seeing all these beloved characters come to such a nasty end and such an unfair end as well. Like, they were good, solid people, and the stabbing of Talisa, I think, was just horrible for Una Chaplin. To even feel, even to act that, whereby it's your little baby bump, and obviously Richard and Michelle. Their performances were, nothing short of extraordinary. I loved that episode, even though it did tear me apart.
Yeah, well, it tore everyone apart.
Yes.
The internet went crazy.
Yes.
What was that like for you and for all of you, sort of coping with that level of intensity from the public eye?
Yes, well, it's amazing. I think I know that I'm speaking for the rest of the cast right now, but we all feel incredibly privileged to be a part of a show whereby it's on a scale where people, globally love it, and people are investing their time and interest into these characters, and there are so many characters and plot lines, and they are passionate and enthusiastic, and I think as an actor you can't ask for anything more than to be in a show of such high quality and a show that people love.
Is it quite difficult also, I'm not sure how different it would be working in an ongoing show with a cast where everyone's fates are kind of already
Hanging
written in
the air.
stone,
Oh, right, yes.
already down the line, where you all know, oh God, is there a sense of, I'm dreading season 5 because I know that I'm going to lose this cast member, or I'm dreading, you know what I mean? Is there that sort of sense of impending doom for some of you?
Well, no, do you know what? I don't think there is. I think all of us genuinely, collectively feel that the beauty of the show is the fact that nobody is safe. No one is, and I think that danger is something that keeps it, that keeps the audiences very much on their feet, and it's a challenge, and it's new. I think Game of Thrones were at the forefront of doing this by getting rid of the protagonist character, and by giving them that curveball, and so it is, it's a very cool thing to be a part of.